Hello. Hey, Teresa. How are you? Hey, guys. How are you all doing? I'm doing well. I'm tired, but I'm doing really good. It has been one of those days. Hang on just a second. I'm going to pause you guys for just 1 second if I can figure out how to do it real quick. Hang on. Hang on. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to take a phone call real quick. I told my husband I was doing a live, and what's he do? He calls me. So I had to answer it really quickly. Hey, Liz. How are you? Sorry. If you all see me wince tonight, I have a strained muscle or a pulled muscle, or I don't know what it is, but I've got my TENS unit on because I have been feeling it. So it just depends on how I move as to whether or not it bothers me. So here's what I'm running into, and we are troubleshooting. So if you guys are on, if you all are subscribers, I know that we had kind of talked about it a little bit the other day. I promise oh, is it working? It's working. Okay. So I am going to try to get this folder. It finally is letting me share the folder. Microsoft, we use OneDrive, and Microsoft OneDrive has been throwing a temper tantrum and would not give me a link for like days. It kept telling me that it wasn't available to share, and there was all kinds of things. But it's finally working. So if you are a subscriber, then the link is going to be found in the sub-only section, which I am getting it pulled up here. It's going to be in the sub-only space is what it's called. I don't believe that it's going to be a clickable link, so you will have to copy the text and then paste it into your browser. But one thing I forgot to do is I do need to password protect it. No, let's get rid of that. Hey, Tiffany. If you all hear the dogs and their nails clicking and clacking and tapping and all of the things, they are acting a fool tonight. Here we go. So Tiffany has a question. I was wondering with Legacy, do we take the exam online with a proctor or go to a testing center? So when you take the course with Legacy, then you are, oh crap. it was working and now it has decided not to work again. When you take the course with Legacy, then you are only getting the prep course. Not necessarily only getting it, but the prep course is with us. It is AAPC material, but your certification course, the CPC exam, is still going to be directly with AAPC. We just purchased the membership and the voucher for you because it's included. So you can have the option of either doing it live remote proctor or doing it in a testing center. So you still have the choice either way. Again, you are not taking the CPC certification directly with us. We are just basically facilitating, the purchase of the voucher for you. So it's still AAPC rules and all of that as far as your certification goes. Does that make sense? Hey, Kimberly, how are you? Oh, OneDrive is on my nerves. I was able to get the link and then it just went down again. So I'm going to see if Rachel... Yes, Tiffany. So when the time comes around, we will still, like I said, we will purchase the voucher for you and then it will be loaded into your AAPC account. And then from there, you will go onto the AAPC account and then schedule the exam with them. Yep. Oh, you just got your GI Bill money. That's awesome. You're welcome. Hang on, I'm going to message Rachel. Oh, hey, Amy. You just signed up for self-paced. Awesome. Welcome to the Legacy family. We're excited to have you. Does Legacy give military discounts? We don't do military discounts, but we do have that TRCC code that is eligible, or that gives 10% of a discount. So we do give a 10% discount. Sorry, I was answering a question real quick. So like I said, we don't have a specific military discount, but that 10% does take some of the cost off. You're nervous to start. You keep procrastinating. Have you signed up or you're waiting to start? Candyland, which question are you asking about an update for the answer? How long did it take me to find my first coding job with my CPC? Granted, this was back in 2007, but it did take me about 6 months. If you do the Legacy education course, My Raise Me, then you get 2 exam vouchers. You're waiting to start. Okay, so the proctor question. So you can do it either way. So whenever you take the course with Legacy, we are not going to be proctoring or doing your CPC exam. You are still going to be doing that through AAPC. So you will still have to follow the rules. You just get 2 vouchers that we purchase basically on your behalf and get it loaded into your account. It will. Yeah, it'll totally be worth it. 100%. I know it's daunting. I know it's overwhelming whenever you first start. But I promise you it's going to be completely worth it. You're going to start this summer-ish. to start with Legacy. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you've kind of found a program that you want to do. DJK, these dog pitter-patters on this floor today are driving me insane. One of them is here now. I don't know if... Oh, you saw its tail. He's driving me crazy. They are playing in the living room, and I'm waiting for them to start going berserk. So if you all hear barking in the background, ignore it. I will shut the door if they start to go too crazy. So Stephanie, are you wanting to do, what type of coding are you wanting to do? Do you know? Are you wanting to do more facility coding, or do you think you want to do the professional side of things? That's going to kind of sway my answer a little bit. It is. Yeah, Mercedes, it is a lot of information. Jackie says she's fighting for her life in chapter 12. Chapter 12 is urinary, right? Urinary and male genital. You're doing your agreement with Sweet Pay plan next week when you get your next paycheck. Awesome. Yeah, these dogs are normally how many lives have I done? And you all have barely heard them, right? Today, they are on a whole different level, and I don't know why. I had to take one of them to the vet, so she might be a little wound up about that. But yeah, Tiffany, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of different programs, for sure. Kimberly took a practice exam last night, made a 70. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a passing score. It's going to give you a good foundation of how to, like, what areas to focus on. Absolutely. Jackie, cardio beats everybody down. I'm telling you. I have had so many conversations about cardio this week that everybody is kind of at that. I think because a lot of the people that started in January are hitting that chapter 10 for cardio, and it's a beast. Yeah. Mercedes says cardio's taking her out. Yeah. So, okay. So the NHA cert course. So here's the thing with NHA. The CBCS exam with NHA is recognized in like the real world as more of a billing certification than a coding certification. So it is, if you have the opportunity to do the CPC, then I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing the CPC over the CBCS or in addition to. And then that way you have that professional coding certification. Amber, our course comes with 2 vouchers for the CPC exam. DJK, you're planning on purchasing and starting the course in the next month or so with Legacy. Awesome. Oh, that's so exciting. So exciting. I can't even talk. No, Superior Sass, you are the reason that you passed your exam. I just helped you. You did all the hard work. I just gave you the resources so that you could do it. That's the thing. Hey, Kimmy. Do I know how to use Codify and Practicode through AAPC? Yeah, we do Practicode with our students. I'm not a big fan of Codify. It is not the most user-friendly encoder that is out there. Guys, hang on. I gotta yell at the kids. Buddy, go. Go. Sorry. Teresa, don't be anxious for your exam. You will know when you are ready to take the exam. Don't be nervous for it, because all that happens whenever you get anxious and nervous for your exam is you work yourself up, and then you essentially cause yourself to forget certain things and important information. So just take a look at the exam as it's a learning process, right? So we know that if we go into the exam, and I hate saying and we fail it, because I don't like that word fail. We just did not pass, right? So if we do not pass our first attempt, then it gives us a solid foundation of what information we know and what information we need to review and study and absorb a little bit more. B-Walk. So how did I become a coder? Did I do a class? All of that kind of stuff. So, back in 2007, I was duped into an associate's degree. I did not know any better, that I did not have to have it, and I thought that it was a requirement to have a degree to sit for your exam. So, I made the horrible, terrible decision to do an associate's degree and went into student loan debt and have regretted it to this day because if I knew that my associate's degree wouldn't open up any doors that my certifications have not opened up, then obviously I would have never done it. So that's why I am such a huge proponent of people going through courses like Legacy, just because I hate to see people get taken advantage of because they don't know any better. And yes, there were many tears. There were many, many tears. I did not pass on my first attempt. I got a 69%. I would have much rather completely bombed it with like a 20% than a 69 because that is one question away from passing. So, yes, I have been in your shoes. I had to teach myself CPT because my CPT instructor did not ever show up to class and she did not ever answer any questions or there was no assistance from her. So I had to teach myself. But my ICD-10 teacher was absolutely amazing. Hands down, one of the best instructors that I've probably ever had. So that is, I think, another reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I know what it's like to go into a course that A, you didn't need to do, and B, that didn't give you what they told you it was going to give you. So yes, that's kind of my story about how I got started in going through school. How many of the practice tests are offered before the CPC exam? Amber, are you talking about with Legacy? Like with the Legacy course or just in general? So, Candyland, you've been a DME biller for 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the CPC will absolutely open up doors 100%. And then having your billing knowledge will 100% help you for sure. Oh, Kimmy, awesome. They put the discount even though you had already signed it. That's amazing. Hey, Becky. The refresher course that I have, it's the CPC boot camp. So if you go to medicalbillco.com/CPC, then on there's a boot camp section and it's the CPC boot camp. So that is March the 22nd is the next one that I have. Let me look and see how many seats I have open. I don't even know. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days. So there's plenty of seats left open for March the 22nd for the boot camp. Crystal, should I start prepping my books now, even with my classes not starting till April? You can absolutely start prepping your books now. That way, once I start throwing information and material at you, then you're going to, like if you start doing your book prep now, then you're getting kind of familiar with the information. Glenda, I do not have a course on how to use Practicode. Can the book be upgraded to the book prep and the self-paced? I'm not sure what you're asking about that. Oh, Teresa, this is going to be your second attempt. So what you should do is go through and look at your scores and your areas of weakness from your first attempt. Do practice questions, go through and make sure that you've got your book prepped in those sections. And then do your practice exams, as many as you possibly can do. So go out and check those out and try to do as many of those as possible. Do you have to take the prerequisite mentioned on the website, or is it optional? It is completely optional. It is recommended that you have some type of medical terminology and anatomy knowledge. I don't know why my brain just made that sentence harder than it should be. But yes, it is recommended that you do have that knowledge, so that way it just makes it easier when we're throwing all of that information at you. It's not sounding so much like Greek. I mean, even though it literally is Greek and Latin, it's not sounding so like a foreign language. Yeah, so Kimberly, whenever you did the practice test, it helped a lot. They really do, because they give you a good idea of the wording and the way that the exam is structured and what to expect and all of that kind of stuff. Hey, Kimmy. So Kimmy's got her CCS. I'm more power to you, because my brain cannot comprehend ICD-10 PCS. I have tried, and I'm convinced that like ICD-10 PCS, like words are made up, and it's not even a language from the way that my brain processes it. So with Legacy, okay. So your question was about the practice exams, if my brain is remembering correctly. So Amber, with Legacy for the practice exams, you do get one official practice exam with Legacy. Now, we have a very large amount of questions that AAPC provides us, since we are licensed and a licensed program. And we are able to create pretty much endless numbers of practice exams for you. They aren't going to be loaded in the same platform as the official practice exam, but they are the same types of questions, and they are written exactly the same. Sorry guys, I'm a little behind on questions, so I'm trying to get through them and catch up. What is boot camp? So boot camp is going to be an 8-hour day, complete refresher. We go from A to Z, everything CPT. We touch a little bit on ICD-10, and then a little bit on the compliance and regulatory sections. Hey, Allison. You can't get your first test results by area to see if... Did I miss part of your comment? Are you saying like you can't get the... you can't get the results in like your areas of weakness? Is that what you're trying to say, Allison? So no, my raise me. The book prep only comes in digital PDF format. It is not an actual like book that is prepped and sent to you. Okay, yeah, Teresa. So you did the additional practice exam. So you're on the right track. Absolutely. Just keep doing that. Have you scheduled your second attempt yet, or are you just waiting? Becky, you've been working with coding and now you just need to get your CPC. Yeah. So sometimes the pressure of feeling like you have a deadline is the hardest thing to overcome. But yeah, just keep practicing, Becky. Like that's really all I can tell you. So you're doing the CPB right now because you did the dual course with AAPC. Should I have the books? Yeah, your books, you need your books for the CPB exam. So Tiffany, book prep is showing you what to write, what to highlight, and sorry, I'm hurting. What to write, what to highlight, and how to prep your book. So, of course, I opened it to like the one page that doesn't have anything on it. So book prep is going to help your book look like this. It's got all of the important parts of your guideline. It's got your parent codes and your child codes grouped together. It's got some annotations, things along those lines. Heather, the CPB boot or the CPC boot camp is 8 hours. We start at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we take an hour lunch, and then we end anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when can we use the 2024 books? You can take those into the exam all the way through December. Do you think that the AAPC practice tests provide enough information to pass the exam? I mean, you still need to do some type of studying, but yes, your CPC practice exams will give you a good foundation of what to expect on the exam. No, Allison, you're totally fine. So if you go to the results page for your exam, and then you click on either pass or fail, right? Does it give you, I hate that word. Does it give you a percentage on there? Kimmy, anybody can participate on that boot camp. So it's available for registration if you go to medicalbillcode.com/CPC, and there's a boot camp section there. So Teresa, you've got it scheduled March 24th. If you need to reschedule, do not feel bad for rescheduling. I have an exam that I have pushed back more times than I probably should have. So I get it. If you need to reschedule it, then definitely reschedule it. Okay, so Allison, whenever you have the percentage, I'm going to go back to some other questions here in a second. When you get to the page that gives you your percentage, is that percentage, does it have a hyperlink on the percentage? You got it? Okay, good. Good. Okay, let me go back up to some of those questions that I missed here. How much is the whole book prep? So if you purchase the all files option for book prep, then that all files option for CPT is $235, and then you can use code TRCC and get 10% off. So that takes $23.50 off of it. Tiffany, if you are enrolled in Legacy, then your book prep is included in the course. So Kimberly, if you need to do a book, or not a book prep, if you need to do a boot camp, you can do the on-demand version, which is just a recording of a previous boot camp. So go out and look at the on-demand version of boot camp, and I believe it is on-demand CPC is $125, and then again you can use that code TRCC as well. Destiny, you're on your 3rd week of school. So what chapters are you in if you're 3 weeks in? Yeah, so RVUs. RVUs are they're known as relative value units, and they are going to represent the complexity of the procedure. So when you have multiple procedures, then you will sequence them in highest complexity to lowest complexity. So they're going to go in descending order. Yes, Elise, you are going to have to use all 3 coding manuals when you take the exam. So the CPT AMA Professional Edition, it has to be this version. It cannot be any other version. It cannot be the Expert. It cannot be, there's a couple other ones out there, but it has to be this version. Okay. Then you can use any version of the ICD-10-CM and any publisher or version of the HCPCS manual. To get everything in book prepping, yeah, for the all files, it gives you everything. So the all files is already a little bit discounted if you were to purchase everything together or everything separately. And then you do get that additional discount, TRCC. It takes another 10% off. Now, keep in mind, that is only for the CPT book prep, so you would still have to purchase the ICD-10-CM guidelines separately, but that is an option there. Veronica, it is a lot of information. The biggest piece of advice, if you're doing an AAPC course especially, is just take it one chapter and one section within each chapter at a time, because each one of the chapters is broken down into sections. So do that at each section, comprehend the material one section at a time. That's going to make it a lot easier to digest. Kim, if you take the legacy class, you do not have to purchase the CPC exam voucher separately. Included in our legacy course, you get the AAPC course for the CPC prep. You get the textbook and workbook, all 3 of your coding manuals. You get as much coaching as you need. You get book prep. You get a boot camp to kind of refresh everything at the end. You get your 1 year of AAPC membership. You get 2 CPC exam vouchers. You get resume services with Sarah Reagan at Caffeinated Career Creations. And then once you are certified, you get to do Practicode to remove the apprenticeship off of your certification. And then you get to, once you're finished with Practicode, then you are enrolled in the internship, which actually gives you on-the-job experience. Do I have book prep for ICD-10? Yep, and the guidelines. I have book prep for the guidelines, but I do not have book prep for the tabular portion of the ICD-10 because the tabular portion already has everything kind of color-coded and everything. Like you've got inclusion notes and excludes and all of that in there. So really you don't have to do a whole lot to the tabular. But I do have ICD-10 guidelines, yes. You got a 75 in anesthesia. I mean, that's still good. That's still a good score, Allison. Are there books for the billing course? Like for the textbook? Yes, there is a textbook for the billing course. This is going to be your textbook for the billing course. Is what it looks like. It's not huge, but it definitely has some good information in it. It's definitely a pretty bulky amount of information that you have to go through. Allison, you got the all files? Yeah, so DJK. So the higher the RVU, the more complex the procedure. Yep. Kelly, what are you asking about, Ahima? Yeah, Kimmy, don't do student loans if you can avoid it. I know that there are some people that is the way they have to go because of grants and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying like absolutely, but I'm saying if you can manage to do it without student loans, 100% do it. No, Glenda, at this point, the externship or the internship that we offer at Legacy is only available for Legacy students. Alejandra, yes, I believe that the AAPC practice exams are worth it because they are in the same platform. So that way you know how the software works from an exam standpoint. And then it also mimics the types of questions and things like that you would get or potentially get on the exam. So it gives you a very good setup to know what to expect on your exam. Absolutely. Oh, you're welcome, Tiffany. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask or reach out. I'm here to answer any questions that you all have. I just realized that all the pitter patter had calmed down and I wasn't even paying attention. So what are the main differences between the material for CPB and CPC? CPB is going to teach you the billing aspect of things where like you need to know regulations, laws, payer guidelines, things along those lines. And then CPC is going to teach you the ins and outs of the actual coding and the guidelines and the material and the books. Is one better than the other, Ahima versus AAPC? It depends. So they focus on two separate things. AAPC and the CPC exam is going to focus on professional coding for the services that your provider gives. It can be in any setting, either inpatient or outpatient. And it is for, like I said, those services that the provider actually gives the patient. Whereas a HEMA, your CCS, that is going to focus mostly on your facility coding. So not the services that are provided, but the cost that is associated with basically housing the patient for however long their stay is. So there's a false narrative out there that it's outpatient versus inpatient, and it's really not. It's professional versus facility. So if you want to work for a doctor's office or something along those lines, that is going to be where you want to do your CPC or your AAPC credential. And then if you want to work for a facility, then your AHEMA credential or your CCS. Does the book prep in the course include ICD-10 and CPT? Yes. If you are enrolled in Legacy, you get book prep for both ICD-10 and CPT. In the digestive section, is your prep notes written as a 5X or an SS? It's an SX for surgery. So it's a surgical scope or procedure is SX. Yeah, if you do both, do you work for a facility and then your department does both professional and facility? Then yeah, there are some that absolutely can do both. But majority of the time it's I don't want to say it's one or the other, but majority of the time you will only utilize one of those certifications. Hey, Shannon. Shannon, I feel like every time you're on a live, like I always have something crazy going on. I do not have a headache, thank goodness. Today is one of the days of no headaches, which thankfully. But I do have a pulled muscle or a pinched nerve or something here in my neck, so I can't turn my head to the left. So anytime I have to turn my whole body. But I will take this over a migraine because I can at least work through this. I can actually function. I just have to change the way that I function. I've got I had my TENS unit on, but my TENS unit just turned off. So yeah, I've got my TENS unit on that has been getting me through the day. So Sisterly Sweets, it can be a challenge to get a position. Now, and why I say it can be is because it's going to vary on each person, depending on background, depending on your education, depending on your overall comprehension of the material, as well as what your resume looks like. There's even sometimes that throughout the year, there might be a drought on positions that are out there. So without saying yes or no, like I said, it's going to vary on a multitude of factors. So right now, beginning of the year, a lot of employers are starting to open up positions because they've gotten new funding and new budgets for the year. And then during the summer, it may slow down because of vacations and people that would train typically would not be in the office as much. So they tend to not hire as much in the summer. And then in the fall, it kind of picks up because everybody's picking up and starting to train so that everybody can be ready for, beginning of the year, things along those lines. So if you go to like a course like Legacy, then you don't have to have a background to remove that A. So the course itself is going to count as 1 year experience, and then the practico that you would get after you are certified, once you complete that, then it would remove the A that way. And then the internship would actually give you on-the-job experience. So it's not necessarily a requirement to have some type of medical background to be able to remove that apprenticeship. Alejandra, where are you going that they're only giving you 2 months to prepare for the exam? That's crazy. When do the next classes start? So if you are wanting to do self-paced, as soon as you receive your enrollment information, then you can start that day. If you are wanting a live instructor class, let me look. I know April was starting to fill up. So let me look and see how many seats I have open for the live instruction for April. No, that's May. I clicked on the wrong class. I have 4 seats left for April. And then if after that, I have a May 7th class that I have open. So how long does the CPC CPB course take? So if you have 1 year for each one of the individual courses. So what we do is we enroll you in the CPC course, and then you get 1 year for that. And then once you get certified, then we will enroll you in the CPB, and then your 1 year for the CPB would start at that point. I have not personally done authorizations before. No, that's not something that I have experience in. You had 3 areas that were zeros. Yeah, so just focus on those areas for sure. Do some practice exams. Watch the study group sessions that I have out on YouTube that will cover those 3 areas that you scored that low. And that will give you practice and hopefully be able to bring those scores up. Is Penn Foster good? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on Penn Foster. There are some people, if you are a very independent studier, I've heard that, it's a decent school. But if you have questions and you tend to ask a lot of questions, I've heard that the support is not the best. That is just hearsay. I did not go to Penn Foster, so I can't speak to it. But I do know that there are some people that love it, and there are some people that say, I cannot get any support, and it's not for me. Hey, Sakira. Katniss. Come here. Sorry. You're in chapter 1 and 2 in the review exam of those chapters. You can't use the book manual. Yeah, you can. Yeah. If you're just doing the AAPC course, you can use your books on the chapter review exams. If you don't have the funds, so are you unable to do financing, or are you saying you don't have the funds to do just an initial enrollment? Shayna, if you want to shoot me a message, if you don't want to kind of air everything on here, that's totally fine. If you want to shoot me a message, we can talk about it for sure. Shannon, you're doing the Zoom next Wednesday, the study guide. Is it okay to do it on the phone? Yeah, you should be fine doing it on your phone. You mean on the Zoom app on your phone? Yeah, you should be fine. Ed2Go, again, that's another one that I've heard mixed reviews on. It's just going to depend on your personal study habits and how much support you feel like you need. Again, it really is just going to depend on that. Does anyone know the cheapest route? What about military discounts? One of the least expensive routes that's out there is doing a program like ours. So you get all of, and the value of it. You get for $2,700, you get everything you need. You get the course, you get the books, You get coaching, you get resume services, you get 2 exam vouchers, membership, Practicode, and an internship for $2,700. So Allison, yeah, you did yours through University of Houston with Ed2Go. Like I said, it really is just going to depend. Yeah. Some people love it. Some people don't. It's all hearsay. I haven't gone through it, so I'm just kind of telling you what I've heard. Michelle, where are you going? You're in school. Where are you going? Glow Hydration Bar. Yes, I have a lot. I currently work with a lot of nurses that are CPC certified. Financial assistance. So I don't know of many that are not going to be through like an accredited college. I don't know that I know any off the top of my head, to be totally honest. If you need like financial aid grants, things like that. But you can find a college that does accept your financial aid. Just make sure you do your research on them and that they offer material that will adequately and appropriately prepare you for the CPC exam or the CCS, one of the two. So Jennifer, what can you and can you not write in your books? You can write anything with the exception of questions and answers from your textbook, your course, any like practice exams, things along those lines. So questions and answers you cannot write. And then rationale from your textbook, course, exams, things like that. It has to be day-to-day coding notes, so you wouldn't be able to take a paragraph out of your textbook and write it in there. But you can summarize that paragraph, and then you can put it in bullet points, and you can put it in there. You're going to University of Cincinnati, Michelle. That's awesome. So you're not too far from me. You went to the University of Cincinnati and dropped out. It was too much and you barely felt like you got help. Unfortunately, that's not an uncommon complaint, that not necessarily from that school. I'm just saying in general, a lot of these schools will overpromise and underdeliver. I wish I could bop them all and make them all go away that do that kind of stuff, because it is frustrating because, like I said, I went to a school that was like that. And it was not fun. After CPC certification, which certification would be beneficial, the CIC or the CRC? I would recommend the CRC, just because the CIC is not super widely recognized at this point in time. So if you're wanting to stick with if you're wanting to stick with AAPC credentials, then I would do the you said COC, not CRC. COC. I don't know that I would recommend either one of those, if I'm being totally honest and transparent, country girl. I would recommend either the CRC, or even maybe the CPMA. Sorry, there's a dog in here that is making noises. He's stinking up my office. He's a dirty boy. First college push you into an associate's degree program. Yeah, I did the same thing, Teresa. I get it. How does SweetPay work? So with SweetPay, you have a 10% discount. So if you do the self-paced instruction, then the self-paced is going to be $2,700. So you would have a $270 down payment. And then they take the remainder of that, plus a $59 service fee. I almost forgot to mention that. And then they take the remainder of the balance and they will break it up between 12 payments. And then, yeah, Tiffany just said there's a little bit of a finance fee. like a service charge. Not if there is a little bit of an interest rate. I don't know why my words are coming out tonight. There is a little bit of an interest rate. So Tiffany says that hers is $204 monthly, or $104 every other week, which really is not bad. Would you recommend doing the book prep before starting the chapters or as you go? Everybody is going to be a little bit different in that. Some people like to do it all ahead of time. Some people like to do it with each chapter as they go, and it kind of helps them like comprehend the material a little bit better, type thing. So it's just find what works for you. Like I said, some people will do it all at the beginning. Some people will do it with each individual chapter. And then I've even had some students that wait until the end of the course to do it. And then that way it's kind of like a refresher of everything beginning to end with doing the book prep. Because book prep is going to be a very light way of studying. Meaning if you have days that your brain feels like if you look at another case or another scenario or whatever, that it's going to explode. But if you want to do a little bit of studying without truly studying, then that's a good way to go, is to do that book prep at those sections. Michelle, you've been working at Aetna for 6 years, so a lot of it's familiar territory. Yeah. I did my first couple of years as a contractor with, it's actually the CSI judge whole thing that we have right now, or that's going on right now, the big mass hiring. So I did a couple of years with those and then realized that I needed steady income and not, kind of jumping between clients. And then I went to an insurance payer, got a job that was not a coding job just because I wanted to get my foot in the door, because that specific insurance payer tends to hire within for coders. And so I went and did, a couple of years in a non-coding position. I decided that was best for me to just do it that way. And then I landed a coding position about 2 years into the company, and then it's taken off from there. So yeah. Are we going to do the CPMA? We have thought about it. We looked into it. We've considered it. But I don't know that the CPMA is really going to be something that we're going to be able to offer right now. From a financial standpoint and from a interest standpoint, there hasn't really been a whole lot of surefire interest in it. So I don't believe we are going to do the CPMA at this time. We will still continue to hit strong on CPC, CPB, and the CRC. So like I said, if you are interested in a additional credential that will give you a good amount of knowledge, then your CRC is a really good course. I keep getting some things pop up here. How long do the prerequisites take for the CPC? Most of our students will complete the prerequisites in 10 to 12 weeks. Some have done it a little bit quicker, but that tends to be about the average, is 10 to 12 weeks for the prerequisites. What else you guys got for me? If I have some castor oil, do a pack with some heat on your shoulder. I've been doing heat for sure. And then my TENS unit has really been helping. Thanks, Jennifer, for that. I don't know that I have any castor oil laying around. I have some, what is it? I think it's called Blue Heat or something like that. It's got like it's a mixture essentially of like peppermint, eucalyptus, and like a couple of the others. What are the prerequisites for your course? So it's not a true like prerequisite because it's not a requirement. But the prerequisite bundle would be what we call MTAP. It is medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology. So you would have a course for medical terminology, a course for anatomy, and then a course for patho. And that's a bundle that is $950. Teresa asked, worst case scenario, what would you suggest if you don't pass again? You're doing the boot camp, so that's the number one thing that I typically like to recommend. You're doing your practice exams. I know you've been in on some of the live study groups that I do on Wednesdays. Have you listened to all of the previous ones and done all of the questions that go along with the study groups? Those are the 3 biggest things. What are my thoughts about nurse auditors? Nurse auditors are amazing. I work with a lot of nurse auditors in my job now. So, nurse auditors, the only thing that works against nurses when you are studying for your certification is you almost have too much clinical knowledge that you have to unlearn. But it's a very doable certification to get with nursing because you have a lot of that clinical knowledge. But like I said, sometimes you have to kind of unlearn it so that you're not reading too much into the scenario. Can you really make 6 figures as a coder? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Are you going to do it right out of the gate? No, in no way, shape, or form. Is it going to depend on the area in which you live in? Yes. So California and New York, in some of those places, 6 figures are going to be a lot more attainable than if you live in an area that has a lower cost of living. Like I'm in Kentucky, so we do not have near the cost of living as those 2 areas. So it's going to completely depend on the area that you live in, or that you are employed in. There are a lot of people that will tell you you can work unlimited jobs. You can work as much as you want. You can work multiple jobs. You can, do all of the things. But my advice to that is a lot of your employers will also require that you sign a non-compete. So there are going to be some jobs that you can work multiple jobs. And there's going to be some jobs that they're going to tell you that they essentially own you. And it's just going to be a determination that you're going to have to make. But yes, it is possible. Is everybody going to be able to do it? No. Is it going to be harder in some areas? Yes. But it all is just going to depend. Is there a school that you would recommend for taking the CPMA certification? I would go directly through AAPC. I don't know of any schools like independent, like educators like we are. I don't know of any that do CPMA education. I'm not saying that they're out there. They're not out there. I just don't know of any. What I like to recommend is do the CPMA study guide with AAPC. That's the way that I did my CPMA certification. And I just did the study guide and I just did the practice exams. And I worked on things on my own and did it that way. Yes, live Wednesday study groups are open to everybody. So the link to register for that is in my bio. So if you click on my picture and then you go to the link tree that's there, there's a link for registration. You do have to have a valid Zoom account, and you do have to be a U.S. resident. I had to lock down security because of some things that happened in one of the study groups. But yes, everyone is available. Everyone is able to register. You just, like I said, you just have to have a valid Zoom account. It's completely free to create it. It doesn't cost anything. And it just has to verify your identity type thing. And then you do have to be a U.S. resident. Do I have any tutoring on the billing and reimbursement part? I don't. Tiffany, what part of Kentucky are you in? You have a bachelor's in nursing, graduated in 2021, so your knowledge is a bit meh. No, you're totally fine. So yeah, look, and it's very possible. I mean, there's a lot of places that do look for CPCs that are RN certified or RN licensed, just to, you know, help with some of that clinical knowledge. Struggling to find a job. So with jobs, apply to anything and everything. You don't want to limit yourself to only job listings that say CPCA, you know, CPCA accepted, or, you know, you need, you know, those 2 years or anything like that. Apply to those jobs. And I know it's going to be disheartening and let them tell you no, but if you don't put yourself out there, then it's an automatic no. So they're not going to know to take a chance on you if you don't even try to apply. That's my biggest piece of advice. You're almost halfway through your medical terminology course at SIU. Yeah. I did SIU was it SIU? No. Where was it that I did? Hang on. Let me shut the door real quick. Okay, you're an hour and a half from Louisville. Oh my gosh, these dogs are driving me crazy tonight. Buddy, go out. Go. Go. Sorry, my husband's out in the living room and he's making a whole lot of noise on the phone. And I keep trying to shut the door and the dogs keep opening it. It's been one of those days. I'm telling you. So are you, Tiffany, are you Eastern or Western Kentucky? Louisville's like literally smack dab in the middle, at least Eastern, Western wise. We're obviously North, but so I'm not really the Kentucky that we always say, oh, we're not really Kentucky. Nobody really accepts Louisville as Kentucky. It's your life, Jennifer, I'm telling you. I am telling you, these dogs, and whoever said dogs are going to cause you less stress and dogs are not going to be as expensive as kids, y'all are big fat liars. I'm not saying that like kids aren't expensive, and I'm not trying to like compare it to it. But I have been at the vet every 2 weeks with these dogs because they're like, I swear, I was telling my coworker today, I said, I swear they hold a meeting every month and they're like, all right, guys, who's going to cause them stress and who's going to make them go to the vet this month? Because it's every single month there's been something. Oh, okay. Southern Illinois. Oh, Michelle, you're Southern Illinois, about 2 hours from the Kentucky border. Okay. I have some family in O'Fallon, Illinois. Laura Ann, what type of computer do you think works best for the course, desktop or laptop? I'm a huge proponent of laptops, just that way you can study wherever. So that way you're not like anchoring yourself to a certain room. So like I have days where I work from my bedroom and I have days where I work from the living room, and then I have days where I'm in my office type thing. So I'm a big proponent of laptops. I'm actually getting ready to go get a new one tomorrow because mine's on its last leg. So, it's overwhelming shopping for laptops for sure. You're in Bowling Green. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Teresa, all of the study group lives, all of the study group sessions are on YouTube. There's a whole playlist. There's 2 separate playlists. There's a 2025. There's a 2025 for the ones that we have held so far this year. And then there's a 2024 for the ones that were last year. Not much change from 2024 to 2025, so you can still listen to the 2024s and the 2025s. Oh, Jennifer, you're close to O'Fallon. So my dad they actually grew up in Edwardsville. Does that sound right? But my aunt currently lives in O'Fallon. Am I currently working as a coder? Yes. Yep. I have a full-time job working as a coder right now. Yep. So I teach and work. Would you know anything about income in Mississippi? I honestly don't, Autumn. I know that there is a salary survey out there on AAPC's website. I don't know how accurate it would be for that area, because that salary survey is figured up from, it's a self-reported thing. So if you don't have everybody that reports in that area, then it might skew the results a little bit. But I do know that there is one out there. O'Fallon is about an hour from you. Yeah, you're close to hour and a half, 2 hours to St. Louis. Yeah. Oh, so you're the next town over from Edwards. It is a small world, I'm telling you. Usually, like, O'Fallon is a decent size town, city, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, Edwardsville is not. Usually I say, oh, they're from the O'Fallon area. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a very small world for sure. Yeah, Practicode, it has its positives and it has its negatives. Just know we do work with AAPC very closely. When our students bring things to us that Practicode is not exactly matching, like just for example, we just submitted one this morning, and they are currently working on getting things updated. And so anytime you have questions that you don't agree with the answers, or you have a guideline to back you up as to why you coded it the way that you did or submitted it that way, then submit feedback on the Practicode platform. Have a good night, Kimmy. Thanks for joining us for a little bit. I do appreciate it. How would you suggest tackling the midterm book? Okay. So with the midterm book, I would look at the chapters that you feel like you struggle with from a coding standpoint, because typically when people struggle with a specific section, and I'm calling myself out on this, cardio, okay? I am not the strongest in cardio because there's a lot of terminology, there's a lot of anatomy that comes into play when you're coding procedures. So if you are not the strongest in midterm and anatomy in that area, then it will likely kind of transfer into coding. And so usually, like I said, I'm not saying that is 100% of the time, but usually if you struggle with the coding aspect, then it's because there's not as much familiarity with the midterm and the anatomy. So study those sections first. That's kind of how I would approach that book. So you're trying to decide if you want to do billing and coding. So, piece of advice. It is 2 separate areas. Billing is one side, coding is the other. Even though a lot of your schools and a lot of your places will say, yeah, I do billing and coding, or we're going to prepare you for billing and coding, or a billing and coding certification exam. They are two separate things. Billing certifications, which are going to be like your CBCS, even though it says billing and coding certification, then those are going to focus more on the processing of claims, denial overturns, modifiers, things like that. Then you have your coding aspect, where you're actually looking at the records, you're reviewing the records, you are appending the codes, you are auditing whether, the physician may have, chose the correct procedure that goes with it. So billing and coding are truly two separate things. So Autumn, if you're looking at a course for billing and coding, you want to make sure that if they combine them together, that's probably not going to prepare you for a coding certification. If you're wanting to do both, look at like our course at Legacy that has a billing certification and a coding certification. And then we have dual courses that do both of those, but they are two separate courses combined into one, if that makes sense. How many days should you invest to finish the course in 2 months? That's a hefty goal. I would say if you're doing the AAPC course or our course with Legacy, because it is the AAPC course, there are 20 chapters. So if you are wanting to do the course in 2 months, that's going to be 10 chapters a month. So 2.5 chapters a week. That's pretty hefty. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you are working and you are trying to do that as well, then you've got your work cut out for you. Yeah, that's going to be, I'm not saying it's impossible. That overwhelms me thinking about it. I'm not going to lie. That gives me a little anxiety for you. Yeah, I'm not a huge proponent of the COC. I have my COC, and I'll be honest, the only reason I have it is because it came with my associate's degree. That was one of the other certifications that they prepared us for, but I've never used it. I've never been, that certification has never made me stand out over and above anybody else. Yeah, billing, if you're doing billing, then, it's not a requirement to have a certification, but if you're wanting to do coding, then I would stay away from the ones that say billing and coding certification, because that's going to lean more towards the billing side. Do you recommend any app or page to practice for the CPC? So, I do not recommend, Pocket Prep, because they are outdated. I would highly recommend, like on our website at Legacy, we have a resources page. So medicalbillcode.com/resources. And on that resources page, there are questions that are available that are free to everybody. Those correlate with our study groups. So you can go out on YouTube and find the study groups that correlate with those questions that you're looking at. And then go out and do AAPC practice exams, official AAPC practice exams. You want to make sure that the questions that you are practicing are mimicking the actual exam itself. So don't go out and look for somebody that is writing their own questions, writing their own materials. I'm not saying that they're not going to be good, but they're not going to mimic the AAPC exam. Oh, you signed up for boot camp on the 22nd. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you. Hey, Tiffany is a medical coder. Devin, I'm glad they're helping. So, where did you decide to go, Crimson Coeur d'Alene? I know you were on and we talked about it a couple of days ago, but remind me, where did you decide to go that you're starting on the 14th? Isn't it a community college? Am I making that up? Oh, you're doing AAPC. So I am making that one up. I think there was somebody else that was on that same live that I was talking to. Are you doing the instructor-led with AAPC? Is that why you have a start date of the 14th? Yes, the AAPC certification for the CPC is 100% multiple choice. They have not implemented fill in the blanks. They will likely do that next year. So, before you sign up with AAPC, our deposit that we have with Legacy is a lot less, and the course itself is a lot less. Plus, you get a lot more. So, I don't know if you've looked at our course at Legacy. I'm struggling with the quizzes where you have to fill in the blanks. Yeah, fill in the blank is hard, especially like if you are looking like from a learning standpoint. Fill in the blank can be hard. Do you have, are you doing, I'm trying to think. Sorry, my brain just like stopped working, Devin. Are you in like a course that you're doing fill in the blanks? Or are you saying like you're feeling like you're struggling with the fill in the blanks that are on the practice exams? Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to get that question out. I had the words going in my brain, like I'm sure you all could tell that like the wheels were turning, but like there was just nothing there. Yeah, that's what was happening. Oh, they approved you for the loan and it's too late to get out of. Gosh, I hate that. I hate that they lock you in that way. Absolutely drives me crazy. Teresa, I will likely be live tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to be hunkered down in my office and working on some stuff pretty much all day tomorrow. I've got 2 chapters left on the YouTube series for ICD-10-CM that I am hoping I'm going to crank out tomorrow. At least one of the 2. But I don't know. It will likely be in the morning if I do it. And then that way, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Let me see what I have going on tomorrow. I know that I have a webinar that I'm going to from 10 to 11. So it will likely be, I don't know. Would anybody want to hop on a live that early tomorrow? Like at like 8 o'clock in the morning? Would anybody want to hop on that early? Devin, the experiential learning. Yeah, the experiential learning. Some of the questions on experiential learning make my head spin still too. Like I have some students that are like, I mean, I can obviously like sit there and work through them, but it takes my brain a second to kind of wrap around those. So with the experiential learnings, just take your time. Make sure you're doing your practice attempts. Those practice attempts are not going to be counted towards your final grade. And then those practice attempts, make sure you're reading the feedback and you're learning, and you're absorbing that information, and that will help kind of those make sense. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Oh, Allison, you're still at work. So you're trying to finish up your day before you leave. Yeah, I get it. So you're 2 hours. Yeah, so that would be early. Yeah, I might do it a little bit later. I might do like 11:30 my time. I don't know. As soon as I figure it out, I will schedule it and let you guys know. Yeah, those practical application cases can be hard. How's the CPC test? I'm scared, and someone at work is helping me practice with real cases. If you try doing your AAPC practice exams, Nell, those will give you a very good idea of how the exam is structured, what to expect. It's going to give you a good general understanding so that you don't walk into the exam and have this like, I don't know what to expect on any aspect type thing. Katy, Texas. What part of Texas is that in? Texas is huge, so I mean, it could be anywhere. One of the questions on the practice attempt the feedback confused you even more. What chapter are you in? Ashley, I don't know if you commented and it filtered it out. So you said, I just paid for it today and just realized it's Friday, so probably won't be official until Monday. What'd you pay for, Ashley? Okay, so Devin, chapter 5. Yeah, chapter 5 with ICD-10. Some of those cases can be intense. If you want to shoot me a message on the one that the rationale confused you on, don't hesitate to. It may take me like a little bit to get to it, but I'll answer it for sure. You're in Colorado Springs, Teresa. I had family that was in Colorado Springs for a little bit, and then they moved to Wisconsin. I feel like I have family everywhere. Can you pass the AAPC exam if you fail all 10 cases? Yeah, absolutely. Each one of the cases is still only worth 1 point. You would just need to make sure that your knowledge is strong in every other area. So that way... Oh, okay, Ashley. Yeah, so you just signed up for the Legacy course today. Did you do pay in full or did you do Sweet Pay? If you did pay in full, then it will likely be Monday. Yeah. Teresa, I know. I have family. I feel like I have family everywhere. And really, it's just a matter of one part of the family. Like, so one of my dad's siblings has lived everywhere for their job. So I have some family in Michigan. I have some family in Illinois in the O'Fallon area. And then I have some family they're in Wisconsin. It's kind of like middle Wisconsin. So yeah, they just moved there probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So I haven't visited them yet. But yeah, they're everywhere. I can't keep track of them. Actually, I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm in Eastern time. Yeah, Teresa. And it's funny because like my dad's family is the only one that's like spread out. My mom's family's all here. So born and raised in Houston. Yeah. Oh, you're in Washington. So you're close to Rachel. Rachel is the other, she's my counterpart at Legacy. She's in Washington State. Oh, Tiffany, you're close to O'Fallon too? There's somebody else in here that's close to O'Fallon. I think there's 2 people that are close to O'Fallon. So you said, okay, so I have to ask this, Tiffany. So you are close to O'Fallon. Are you anywhere near Edwardsville? Because that's pretty close to where the other person is too, but that's where my dad grew up, was in Edwardsville. I had to pull out the name of that city out of the cobwebs because I haven't talked about it in a while. Jennifer. Yeah, so Jennifer is in pretty close to you, Tiffany. She's right there in that same area. I don't know that I've heard of Wood River. But we were raised, even though I'm in Louisville, and I mean, Louisville's a pretty big city to kind of support it, but we've grown up, we were really big St. Louis Cardinals fans, baseball wise. So that was our team that I don't know what it is about Louisville, but we're really big, even though we're closer to Cincinnati than we are St. Louis. Louisville's a really big St. Louis Cardinal fan base down here. It's weird. You would think that we would be more Reds because we're closer to the Reds, but definitely not. Oh, so Jennifer, you're in Wood River too. So Tiffany and Jennifer are both in the same city. That's crazy. That's funny. I have to look because I don't know where Wood River is. Now you all have my interest piqued. Oh, okay. So it's a little bit more north. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I usually don't go that north whenever we go. I'm usually more like right there on that 64 O'Fallon, Fairview Heights area. So is it best to purchase both bundles for the practice exams? So it'll give you a very good rounded idea of the types of questions. So the lower the letter, the easier, not saying it's easy, but the least difficult. And then the higher the letter, so through F, then the higher the letters, then the more complex they're going to get. Now, if you are looking for additional practice exams, Legacy actually offers, so we offer the A through F as well on our website. And then we also offer 1 through 6. So 1 through 6 is only available to licensed educators or licensed programs like we are at Legacy. So let me show you guys this real quick. I'm going to get to the website and I'm going to show you guys. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's been a long day. All right. So our website is medicalbillco.com. And I'm going to try to get this so you guys can see the websites or the whole page. Okay. So here's our whole page. Okay. If you go to medicalbillco.com/CPC, or the link is in my bio, we have practice exams. And so if you click on the CPC practice exam, then they are actually cheaper than you would get them if you order them directly from AAPC. So we do have 2 bundles. We have the ABC and the DEF, just like AAPC. But like I said, we do have additional practice exams 1 through 6 that you are able to purchase separately. And those will get increasingly more difficult and give you more of like a specialized, complex amount of information in preparation. Sorry, my TENS unit turned off. I was trying to get it back up. So your AAPC, again, since we are a licensed educator or a licensed program, then we do have the option to offer those AAPC practice exams. Also, some of the things that we do, we have study materials. So we have the study guides available for the CPC, the CPB, and the CRC courses. We do have those practice exams for those 3 exams as well. And then we have unofficial practice exams. So meaning these are test banks that are written by AAPC that we are able to offer for purchase as well. So you get 55 questions for $10. Anything that you purchase on the website here at this medicalbillco.com/CPC, you can use code TRCC and get 10% off. You can use code TRCC and get 10% off. Another big thing that is available for purchase out here is the book prep documents to show you how to prep your CPT and your ICD-10 manual. And then we do have boot camp options if you're looking for just an overall refresher. And then here's our live instruction courses. If you're looking for the self-paced course, it's all the way up at the top that are here. Any questions? You guys have any questions? The 2025 book prep and guidelines are ready. Yep. Yep, so those are available for purchase. Hang on, I gotta let the dog out of the room that I locked in here. What was the code that I mentioned? TRCC. So Tiffany Roach, Coding Coach. TRCC. And that gives you 10% off. You are very welcome. Very, very welcome. Now, also one thing, if you guys are interested in book prep, I do have a subscription available for you guys to join on TikTok. So $8.99 a month. And it's going to have 2 live sessions per week. One of the live sessions on Sunday, we will do book prep for at least 1 hour. So I will show my book. I will show you how I prep it, all of those things. And then the second live session that we have is just going to be strictly going over AAPC written questions and working on process of elimination and things along those lines to get you prepared for the CPC exam. So if you want to support so that I can continue to give you guys resources and things along those lines, then the subscription is $8.99 a month. So Glenda, if you go to, hang on, let me pull up TikTok on my phone and show you guys what it looks like to subscribe. I'm pulling it up here. Give me just a second. Let me turn my sound down so that you're not hearing echoes. Okay, so if you're on the live, okay, we're on the live. If you see down here, there's a subscribed. Oh, wow. I'm like a phone inside a phone inside a phone. So you'll hit this subscribe button here. And then you will come over here to community. And then I'm on my personal one. I've subscribed to it, so I know what it looks like on your guys' end. Then it'll say subscribe instead of extend your subscription. And it'll be down there. So whenever you subscribe, again, it's $8.99 a month. You'll get daily videos that are available for subscribers only. You will get, those 2 live sessions that we do each week. I'm going to start doing resources for medical terminology and anatomy as well. Let's see, what else did I decide? Hang on, let me pull up my list here. Where is my list? I have so many things going on right now, my poor brain. So we're going to work on process of elimination. We're going to work on fill in the blanks. So the live sessions that we do on Sundays and Mondays that are available for subscribers only, those will be available for replay on YouTube, only available to you guys. So if you miss a Sunday or a Monday subscription live, then you can replay those at any time. Let's see, we're going to do live book prep. We're going to do midterm and anatomy. Yeah. Liz, so if you are subscribed and you want to upgrade, so you'll do the same thing on your subscription page. Hang on, let me get to it. No, hang on. I'm trying to get to it here real quick. It should be on your community page. That's what it is. So on the page, right, for your subscription. So on your benefits page is where you'll likely land whenever you get there. And then you'll come over to community. And then you'll either extend your subscription and upgrade it, or there's a button up here, one of the two. It's going to depend on the way that your app looks. Then it'll say change up here, and then you'll just upgrade from the $2.99 to the $8.99. Thank you, Linda, for subscribing. Do we have lives for coding practice? Yes, we're going to do every Monday night. We're going to do coding scenarios and work on process of elimination, and then even do some fill in the blanks. So every Sunday, I will put a poll in the subscribers only space. And in that poll, you guys will be able to tell me what you want to work on that week. So whatever the majority is. If you want to do fill in the blank or process of elimination, and then what section it is that you guys want to work on. So you guys get to help me decide what we're going to cover that week. So Sundays will be book prep lives. And then Mondays will be question lives. So again, whether you do process of elimination or fill in the blanks, like coding from scratch. So the times of the lives. The Sunday live, I'm thinking, is going to be 6 p.m. Eastern. I haven't quite set that time in stone yet, but I'm thinking it will be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the Monday night live will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Chelsea, no, you're fine. The subscription is on TikTok. So in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, right next to the comment button, there should be an option to subscribe. It looks like a little star. It's a little star, like I can get it, there we go. It's a yellow box with a star. That's what it is. Yep. So you get 2 lives a week for, yep. If you are a subscriber, you get 2 lives a week. Yep. Glenda, the book prep and the guideline prep will get sent. If you purchase them, yes, they will get sent to you. If you are talking about for the subscription, then those aren't going to come with the files, but we're going to do a weekly book prep session, like just on a live video. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so you should be getting an email very shortly, Glenda. Thank you so crafty for subscribing. I appreciate your support. You all are amazing. I always say I can't do it unless you guys let me do it. So you all are amazing. I will support you guys as long as you need the support. I will be here to help you guys. What platform will I use? I'm just gonna hope and pray that we're not gonna run into the issue where TikTok goes away again. But if that happens, then I will likely I'll probably do, I don't know, I'll probably move lives over to Facebook. I more than likely won't do any subscriptions over on Facebook because I don't even know that there's the option that's over there. I know that there's the option to do subscriptions on YouTube, but I've never gone live on YouTube, so I don't know how that would work. Here, let me turn the camera around. No, I don't want to cancel. I keep hitting wrong buttons over here today. So yeah, it really, hopefully we're not going to run into the issue where it's going to go away or threaten to go away again. But if it does, we'll figure it all out. Chelsea, thanks for subscribing. Well, you need Java to do the program. As long as you have the ability to play a video, then that's all that matters. I think most computers already have all of that capability. Yeah, Security, if you have questions on the program, yeah, absolutely. Ask away. Ask any questions that you guys have. Oh, blessed and beautiful. Thanks for subscribing. Y'all are amazing. Like, I am one of those people that, like, I don't like to sell myself. Like, I'm going to give you guys resources, and then I just assume that, like, nobody wants to do anything with it. I don't know. I'm really weird about it. I have been in coding since 2007. I got certified in 2007. And then I worked in, I've been in the field since then. I took like 2 years where my job wasn't really like a whole lot of like coding. But then I got into education and the education space on top of my full-time job, coding. I got into the education space, part-time back in 2016. Glenda, I'm glad you like the book prep. Trust me, it is something that I work on very hard every year for you guys. January, I always get the emails. When is book prep coming? When is book prep coming? And I'm like, guys, I promise if I can get it out in a day, I would get it out in a day. But it is so intense trying to make sure that everything is good. And then we've got to scan it in and then we've got to edit it. Like, it really does take a little bit. So I'm glad that you guys like it and you all enjoy it because I really do pour my heart into it every year for sure. The prerequisite courses, yes, the prerequisite courses will be ebooks only. AAPC doesn't even give us the option to purchase a physical copy for the prerequisites. It's a little frustrating because I'm a physical book kind of girl. So Glenda, did you already get your email with the downloads if you're saying that that it's amazing? So it does happen pretty quickly. Did you get the all files? I think so. I think you were saying that you did, or you were going to. Yeah, all files and the guidelines. Yeah. Oh, Chelsea, you subscribed and you signed up for class today. 1, thanks for supporting. 2, I'm excited for you to be in class. Did you do live instruction? Or did you do self-paced? Did you send me a message? Let me look. Sorry, I'm over here going to look at something and then I get distracted and you did self-paced. Okay. You sent me a message about if you did it right. Okay. I will look, Chelsea, and answer questions whenever we're done. Hang on, let me look. Yes, so if you did this SweetPay and you sign the agreement with SweetPay, you don't have to do anything on the website. So yeah, you're good. I know, that's kind of weird. That whenever we first started doing it, SweetPay and all of that, like I got really confused and I was asking Rachel because she's the one who set it all up. She's the one who does all of our like business side of things. And so I was asking her, I was like, I want to make sure that I'm telling people that like they don't have to do it on the website and they're not like signing up twice and it's not causing a whole lot of confusion. So yes, if you do SweetPay, you don't actually complete anything on the website. You're just doing the SweetPay option. And then once you tell SweetPay what courses it is, then they'll give you your financing options. Once you sign it, then they send the information over to Rachel and she gets you completely enrolled. Yep. If you are doing pay in full, then you would purchase it directly on the website. But if you're doing financing, you don't have to do any like actual transaction on the website at all. Just started coding classes. Where do you start for book prepping? It looks overwhelming. It can be overwhelming for sure. If you are talking about the book prep that we have at Legacy that I have created, you can just start with whatever chapter it is that you're going through on like that week or that section or whatever. So the way that I do book prep, and I've got a couple videos that are pinned that are really easy that kind of break it down as far as like what color is what, you know, and the pins themselves to use. Cause that's the big thing is like for so many years, I struggled with finding pins that were good, that wouldn't bleed, wouldn't smear, wouldn't fade, all of those types of things. And I think I finally found like my magic formula. But book prepping, the way that I do it, if you were to purchase book prep, then you would put a pencil, you would use your pencil, and you would kind of combine all of the parent codes with the child codes. Highlight the portion prior to your semicolon because that's your parent code or your standalone code. So if you have that there, then it just helps it stand out a little bit. And then I've got some annotations. These numbers that are here, these are your relative value units or your RVUs. You won't need to know those values on the exam, but while you are learning and you are doing cases and scenarios where you are coding from scratch and you don't have multiple choice, those RVUs are going to help you figure out your sequencing because the higher the RVU, the more complex the procedure. And then your sequencing from a CPC standpoint is going to be the highest or more complex first, followed by the in descending order after that. Hey, Kimberly. eyes are itching really bad tonight. Allergies are bad. You're about to start chapter 3. So if you're about to start chapter 3, if you have my book prep, there are ICD-10 CM guideline book prep documents, or a document out there for ICD-10 book prep. And it helps break it down section by section. So let me show you a little bit of what the ICD-10 CM book prep is going to look like. Let me get it pulled up here on my iPad and I'll show you. So here's an example of ICD-10 CM. Well, hang on, let me unmirror it so that you can read it. So this is what your ICD-10 CM would look like. This is a PDF version of it, so it's not what's actually like formatted in the book, but you can see that it's got some annotations, some highlights, and some things written. Now, once you get down into like external causes that are a little crazy, and then you've got your chapter specifics that are broken down as well. So those are your ICD-10 CM guidelines. So you're starting your course through college. How long does it take to take the certification test after completing the course? Everybody's going to be different. Hang on, I'm going to mirror this back because it always looks funny whenever it's funny how you're like, that's not how I look. Then if you're doing it through college, everybody's going to be different as far as like how ready they are to take the exam from the, sorry, I was unplugging my phone, from after you finish your course. Some people's courses will adequately prepare them and they will feel great and go directly into their exam. Some people will feel like they still need to review things and things like that. So it's really just going to depend on your course and your level of comfort with the material. I know that's not really a good answer, but it's really the only answer because I don't want to give you, like a false representation of how long it might. So your course takes 8 months. What kind of material are they using? Are they using AAPC material or is it mostly billing? AAPC. Okay. So if they're doing AAPC material, I would say depending on your comfort level and how like prepared you feel and like your ability to comprehend everything, I would say I wouldn't wait longer than a month. So do it within 4 weeks of your course completion and schedule your exam. So that way you're not losing the information that you've learned and retained through the course. Hey, Callie girl. Is real world coding easier than the test? That's a double-edged sword. Your real world coding is not multiple choice, obviously. So you are going to have to know your guidelines and know your material. You will still be able to use your books or your encoder or whatever software it is that they use. But you still want to have that general understanding of everything. Now, most places, I'm not saying this is a blanket statement, but most places will kind of have you start out in an easier specialty, or unless you're working in a single specialty type of office. So there's going to be a learning curve, 100%, no matter what job you go into. There is going to be a learning curve. It's going to be different for everyone because it's going to depend on the job that you get. The learning curve tends to come with your CPC exam is Medicare or CPT guideline based, whereas real world coding is going to vary on your payer. It's going to vary on the guidelines or the policies that your employer or facility have. It's going to depend on a multitude of factors. So in some aspects, it is a little bit easier. In some aspects, it's going to be tenfold harder. It is a little bit easier. In some aspects, it's going to be tenfold harder. But it's all going to depend on where you are, what you're doing, and kind of your specialties and things along those lines. Again, it's not really answering the question, but there is going to be a learning curve for sure. In my opinion, do you think the AAPC cert or the AHEMA cert is better for beginners? The AAPC CPC for professional coding is probably going to be the better certification to start out with because it has a less complex amount of codes. It has a less complex code set. So the CPT versus the ICD-10 PCS. And then facility charts tend to be very large. So it may be easier for you to digest smaller charts in the beginning. Do you think it depends on the specialty? Yeah. So the easiest specialty to start in, again, that's going to be different for everybody because there's going to be some people that like certain specialties and are drawn more towards a certain specialty versus there's going to be some people that, you might get 5 people in a room and they all have 5 different specialties that they really enjoy or they comprehended better than the others. So my advice on that one is figure out what specialty or what code set it was that your brain really comprehended very easily or more easily than the others. And then also look at what code set your brain did not comprehend very well and kind of stay away from that one if possible. Like for me, when I first started out, and I still to this day, I will stay away from cardio if it's even possible. Cardio is just hard. It's just very complex. But there are some people that dive straight into it and they love it. And there are obviously people that specialize in cardiology coding. So it's really going to depend on each person for that as well. Yeah, ICD-10 PCS. I'm telling you. And I've said it a couple times tonight, but I swear they make up their own words. Whenever you're coding PCS, the words that you have to look up and you have to know and understand, and it's a whole language that I swear they've just invented just for that. Is it necessary to sign up for a coding program? No. Can you learn it on your own? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Is it going to be stressful? Yes. If you can do it, is it going to be worth it? Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind. A lot of people have this thought that self-studying is going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. Instead of going to a college, yes, it will save you a lot of money. Instead of going to a program like Legacy, where it's only $2,700 that includes everything, you're only going to be saving maybe a couple hundred. So self-study is absolutely, it is 100% possible. I know a lot of people that have done it. But for instance, in one of the I don't want to say the negatives of self-studying, one of the positives of going through a course is I was just talking to, and I don't think she's been on tonight, but Jeannie, she usually hops on here. She just got her first coding job and they required for her to go through a course. So had she not gone through a structured course, she very potentially could not have gotten that job. So there are perks to doing courses. There are perks to self-studying, but it's going to depend on what is best for you. Is there a market for ED coding? Yep. Yep, there is a market for it for sure. Hey, Mocha Latte. Started 8:24 and you've already forgot what you started with. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things the reasons that we have boot camps and that we open up boot camps to everybody is because there are some courses that do take longer, that if you don't cover the material and it takes a little bit, then you can forget those things. So Teresa, our program is self-paced. So self-paced and self-study are two totally different things. Self-paced is going to be going through a structured course where we, give you the material, we give you the structure, and then you just complete that course at your own pace. Whereas self-study is you buy the textbooks and you teach yourself. You go out and do the research on your own. You find reputable YouTube videos. You find, reputable people that you can lean on to learn the information. So self-paced and self-study are two totally different things. How many live instructor sessions per week are there in the instructor-led course? You have 1 3-hour session per week. Oh, Shelly, your friend passed today. That's awesome. Congratulations to her. So you have a coding real live question. What you got for me, Flamingo? She followed me. Who's your friend? I might recognize the name. If you said she's been in, watched videos and stuff, I might know who it is. I make no promises. But my brain might remember. Kristen Bonds. The name sounds really familiar. What do I think of the Preppy program? I have a lot of thoughts on Preppy. I know I have not gone through it, so none of the things that I can speak to are from my personal experience. It's a hit and miss. Some people love it. Some people don't. I do know that they do not supply the correct books, so you will have an additional cost on top of the program. I know that instructor support is not the best. If you are someone that tends to not need a lot of instruction or answer questions, then Preppy can be a good program. But if you are someone that tends to ask a lot of questions and need conversation to comprehend things, then those are the people that tend to say that they are not happy with their education at Preppy. Again, not my personal experience. I am just going on what I've been told. Hey, Elfin. Callie girl, how much is our program? The self-paced program is $2,700. The instructor-led program is $3,700. You have a patient that has Medicare and Medicaid. They need a DEXA scan test. So that's going to depend on the body area that they're doing the DEXA scan on. We do not use coding software in our curriculum because your coding software, every single one of them, and when you get out in the real world are going to be different. So we teach you how to utilize your manuals so that when you go into the exam, you're not reliant on a program that you can't use during the exam. And then, like I said, each employer is going to use a different encoder or coding software. And so that way you're not like learning on one and then you get into the others and you're lost and you're confused. So we teach you how to use your manuals. And again, coding software can go down or coding software can be wrong sometimes. So you always have to know how to use those manuals to kind of back up your knowledge as well. Yeah, Shelly, if you're an RN, work from home is definitely possible. Just as a coder in general, but your work from home, if you're an RN, there are a lot of nurse auditing positions that do have work from home. So Mocha Latte, the all files option for book prep, those are only for CPT. And then you have the ICD-10-CM guidelines that are separate. So the all files for CPT is $235. And then the ICD-10-CM guidelines are $25. You can use code TRCC and get 10% off. So it would be $260 with your 10% off. It would take $26 off. So $260 if you want all of the CPT and then your ICD-10, and then minus your $26. So that would bring you down to $234. You're welcome. Medical billing can be a work from home job. There are some employers that will do work from home for sure. Sometimes billing does tend to be in office a little bit more. It just depends on just different things. I honestly don't know much about billing salaries, especially in other areas. My advice would just be go out and look at like some job descriptions and see if they do list like a salary range on those. Because I know that a lot of employers have started putting salary ranges on their job listings and requisitions. Salary start for coders. That's going to depend on a couple different things. It's going to depend on your employer. It's going to depend on your demographics. But it can usually be anywhere between 19 and 24. Is billing an answering phone type of job or a non-talking with people kind? Majority of your billing jobs, you're going to be on the phone. You're either going to be talking to patients, or you could be talking to a lot of insurance companies and trying to resolve denials. So it's a little bit of both. We do not have a course for CCS. Neither Rachel or I are AHIMA certified. So we do not have any courses that teach for the ICD-10 PCS. So we would not be able to adequately prepare you for the CCS exam because that does include the ICD-10 PCS. Well, guys, I did not realize, it was after 9 o'clock my time, and I have been going all day, but, so I'm going to hop off here. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you think of, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. It might take me a little bit to get back to you because my inbox is a little crazy. But if you all have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out. And then I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. But as soon as I figure out times, then I will schedule it. And then that way you guys can see it and know. But hopefully I'll chat with you soon. If not, have a good night, have a good weekend, and I'll chat with you later.